and welcome to this week's Cruise Chat. I'm Kathleen Penner, owner of Plenty of Sunshine Travel, and today I'm joined by Kim. And as you can see, Kim is from Viking Cruises, and she just returned from a wonderful cruise through the rivers of France. And I'm really excited to learn about your personal experience. I just returned from a Danube river just under 2 weeks ago, so I think we're gonna, talk about all the highlights that we both had. But the rivers of Europe are just so beautiful, and I just can't wait to learn more about it. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Kathleen. So happy to be here with you today. Yes, I just returned from France, and I'm so happy to hear you also had the chance to river cruise. A couple things about river cruising. I just think that's just such a beautiful way to see the country. I love the saying that the ocean will take you to the country, but the river ships will take you through the country.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
that was my experience.
Yes.
Just to get right through into the heart of each of the city and
Hmm.
share so many beautiful things. I was in France, so I'll share a little bit about my journey with you.
Yeah.
I had chosen the itinerary because I really wanted to see that area of France.
Hmm.
Uh, I had never been to those destinations before. And I'm also going to confess that I love to eat food and I love to drink beautiful wine. So this was a perfect itinerary for me. Um, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, the food is outstanding over in Europe. It's just delicious and fresh, and I'm sure that you got to experience some good ones too. I managed to pick up some German chocolate. I don't know what you had, but that was my vice. You could have
Yeah.
France, and I had the
Yeah.
chocolate. But
And
yeah.
don't you think that traveling, not only are you experiencing new destinations, but you're obviously experiencing new cuisine as well. And
Yes.
that's such an important part of the trip.
Absolutely. And I loved how the food on the menu that night was very regional to where you were, and it just changes constantly. It's not like the whole fleet has the same menu. So that was really nice. Like we had some schnitzel, and we had some sausages and all that stuff as we're touring through. And I'd love to hear what kind of food do you have that's
Yes, I'm
indicative
going
of
to show you
France?
some pictures. I'm going to
Yay.
show you some
Okay.
pictures of the food I had, the
Good.
food I saw, and the wine as well. And then I'll talk a little bit about how we do it at Viking. But first of all, just sharing the itinerary with you.
Hmm.
This was on the Rhone. So I flew into Lyon, and that's where my cruise started. And Lyon is such a beautiful. I actually went in a couple days early because I wanted to experience the city, and I
Yeah.
highly recommend going into before you're starting your journey to go in a couple days early for a
Mhm.
couple reasons. One, you get to acclimatize to the different time zones. So when you start your cruise, you're starting it fresh and
Yes.
also gives you the chance to do some exploration.
Yeah, no, I
So,
chuckled at that the time zone because the day we landed and we had an overnight flight, that night they did a time change over in Europe where we lost an hour's sleep.
oh yeah,
So
I
not
know, I
only
know.
were we 5 hours behind, we changed to six. So it was,
Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah.
hard because well, for me from the West Coast, I'm from Vancouver, so it's an 8 hour.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's almost inverting the day and night. So I sure was appreciative of having those couple days
Yeah, absolutely.
prior to my journey. So this is what the itinerary looked like. The started in Lyon and we went to Avignon, and we were on the Rhone River. So
Beautiful.
I think I have some picture. Oh, this is the itinerary here. So
Okay.
Lyon, again, a couple nights in Lyon. This is the itinerary that we did. One thing about the Rhone River is that the Rhone never, um, I guess, suffers or there's no consequence for low water levels there. So if you want to ensure that you're not going to run into low water levels in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it happens that we do, you might want to pick an itinerary that takes place along the Rhone. One of the things, my most favorite things about my cruise was the people. So at Viking, we had a beautiful docking location right in the heart of the city. And I really love that too, because you're right there. You're right amongst everything. So if you're arriving by train, you're right near the train station. It wasn't far from the airport, but this is how I was greeted. I
Oh.
was greeted by one of our beautiful international crew. There was
Mhm.
11 different nationalities on board. and that really started off my vacation in such a beautiful way that I was greeted so lovely. I felt like I was part of a family. So
Oh,
I
wonderful.
just wanted to share with you some of the pictures of the staff.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a little picture about Lyon. Lyon is actually, it has an area of the city that's medieval. So the sort of the Renaissance area, the people come from all over the world to study this area in Europe. Lyon
Right.
is the culinary capital of France.
Ooh.
So,
So you know
and
you're in for a
France
treat. Yeah. Oh,
and
amazing.
France just happens to be the culinary capital of the world. So I was in the right spot for trying new food and trying new cuisine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's separated by the Rhone River and the Saône River. So there's two areas of the city. They're divided by
Mhm.
each river, and then at one point they do converge. And so it's lovely having two rivers on no matter where you're walking.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So as I said, Lyon is the culinary capital of France, and
Hmm.
one thing that I loved when I was walking about was just taking pictures of the food, of course, enjoying the food. One thing the French do extremely well is one, fresh produce. So they really understand the concept of farm to table.
Hmm.
And that was a big part of my experience there. So
Yeah.
I took some pictures to share with you. I love the cheese. So
Yeah.
they have so many different options that we don't have here.
I
All the fresh
know.
produce there, you
Yeah.
can
Oh,
see
beautiful.
the
Yeah.
artichokes.
And I mean, you can't
These,
have cheese without the bread, right? So you've got
you
the cheese just under the bread, and it worked out well. Yeah.
exactly,
Delicious.
exactly.
Hmm.
So cheese and bread go hand in hand, and they also do bread extremely well in France. And do you know what the average amount of times that uh, I guess someone from France goes to a bakery?
No, I'd like to hear this stat. What is it?
They go to the bakery on an average about 5 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
My
so the
goodness.
bakeries is a really important part of their, of course, of their food.
Yeah.
And then, so you're finding all these freshly baked
Mhm.
breads and so many different varieties of breads that we don't have here. So it was really fun to learn a little bit more about how they, I guess, just their culinary experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they don't put preservatives in their bread when it's freshly made like that. So you want to
Mhm.
make sure you snatch that up and eat it while it's so beautiful and fresh too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Um, There's a couple things I did to explore in Lyon. I went here. You can see the two different rivers and how it divides the city.
Hmm.
They have a beautiful cathedral at the top called Notre Dame, their version of the Notre Dame.
Oh,
And so I went and wanted to explore. So not only for to see the history of the Notre Dame there,
mhm.
but also to see the beautiful view that
Yeah.
you got up top. So that was one of the things that I did. I have another travel tip that I like to do every time I go into a new city is I like to spend my first day doing hop on, hop off. So
Mhm. Yes.
I
Yeah,
think that gives
beautiful.
you a
And then you can see the overview and see where you want to hit the next day.
yeah, exactly,
Beautiful. So did you
exactly.
hike up there then? Is that a walking venture or is that a driving? It
I
looks
did
great.
not. I did this was the day that I did the hop on, hop off.
Oh, okay.
But as you know, the Viking excursions are included in the
Hmm.
cruise fare, and this happens to be one of our excursions on the day as well. It's just to do a driving tour
Yeah.
of Lyon, and so I actually did it twice. I did it once on my own, and then once I embarked on my journey with Viking. So
Oh, lovely.
yeah.
And beautiful churches and cathedrals. That's just a nice picture too. Oh,
Yes. And
yes.
the other thing that I wanted to do was to learn more about the wine region. They have the
Hmm.
Côte de Rhone. They also have the Beaujolais area. So one of the, I did also a tour on my own, but also we had this as an optional tour on Viking. So you could go and visit some of the wine regions. This one happened to be in the Côte de Rhone.
Hmm.
They have some of the oldest grapevines in Europe, so some of them go back to the Roman times where they planted grapes and brought some varietals like the Viognier.
Hmm.
And this is what I was seeing when I was here. So I really enjoyed learning more about winemaking in France.
Yeah.
And of course, we have to have something to wash down the cheese and the bread.
Right.
So I tried some really delicious different types of wines. And
Nice.
here are some that I tried. It's also interesting too because of the growing region. They grow on steep slopes, so it's kind of interesting. And
Hmm.
the other thing that I love is that on the Viking cruise, we have, of course, we have beer and wine included at breakfast. Sorry, we do have mimosas at breakfast, I learned,
Okay.
but we have the beer and wine at lunch and dinner.
Hmm.
And so we're trying different varietals of that particular region. And
Oh,
so
nice.
that was a nice thing too, that you can, not only do we have that experience on board, but you
Hmm.
can pick up a bottle and bring it back to the ship with you if you want. And
Oh, wonderful.
uh, you can choose to drink it on your balcony, or you can bring it to the lounge, or you can bring it to dinner.
Yeah,
And I love that Viking allows you to do that.
absolutely. Yeah. Because you want
Some
all those
people,
regional things, the things you're not going to get at home, and you want to enjoy them while you're there.
yeah, you want to enjoy them. And one of the fun things too is that people will bring the bottles back and then they'll do some wine tasting together. So it's a nice way to
Oh,
meet new friends.
it is.
Um, and then I love that Viking allows you to do this because they want to, the economic impact of Viking being in these cities. They want people to go out and purchase and try new things and so
Yeah.
on. So
And help the local areas that they're actually
and
visiting. That's awesome.
and help the local areas. So
Yeah, nice.
and then we
Oh,
went to this small, you can see the Roman influence here in the
hmm.
architecture of this little town called Vienne. And I really enjoyed my time here as well. Just really, I did a walking tour here,
Okay.
just because I was new to the area. I just wanted to learn.
Yeah.
Also, I love that we have the headsets that you can put on and
Right.
listen. That all the guides are local, so they're very knowledgeable.
Oh,
And I
fabulous.
really enjoyed all of my walking tours that I did.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. And like you said, those headsets work wonders. You don't have to be right up close to catch what your guide is saying. You can sort of meander in behind everyone and still get the benefit.
We try to keep our walking tours small.
Good. Yeah.
They could be in and around 8 people, but people like to go in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
And so having the guide with the quiet box it really is helpful.
It is. Oh, I
And
love
then
the
we
little
went,
lantern. That's a gorgeous picture. That's nice.
yes, yes. This is as you're gliding along the Rhone here, you can see the wine growing region. Again, you can see the small, beautiful town, and this would be typical of what you'd be seeing on a river cruise as you're gliding along the river.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
So
the other
beautiful.
thing is that we have the aquavit terrace at the bow of the ship, so you can actually sit out on the bow with your glass of wine and with your meal, and sit and watch this type of beautiful scenery as you're going along.
Oh,
Um, Viking is the only cruise line that has the bow, sorry, of the
mm,
ship as a restaurant. So it's a really nice way
beautiful.
to sit and enjoy and see the
Yeah.
beautiful scenery.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So this was one of the excursions that you can do. I really wanted to see this area. This was in Tournon. This was
Mm-hmm.
one of our stops. So we take you up by train into the hillside in France, and there's some farming community. There's some beautiful architecture, some beautiful old homes, lots
Yeah.
of places to walk around, and it was really fun having the experience on the train itself.
Mm-hmm.
Our team met us up on board, and we had champagne when we arrived. So
Oh,
it
wow.
was just such a beautiful experience. It really took me back in time
Mm-hmm.
taking the train. So
Yeah. Oh, wow. And those
this-
homes look really gorgeously old. That looks really nice.
I love when you're traveling and seeing the architecture, especially really that dates back almost even thousands of years. So it's really interesting where here in North America, we just don't have that. Well, at least in Western Canada, we just don't have,
Not
um,
here either in Ontario. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Our oldest, I think, is Dundurn Castle, and that was like mid 1800s, if that. So, yeah, amazing.
So
The
it kind of
the
transports
houses and the
you.
cathedrals from like the 14s and 1500s is just amazing. I love architecture as well.
Yeah, that's one of the beautiful things about traveling. So I did the train and then arrived
Mm.
into Avignon.
Yeah, beautiful.
One of the things I loved about Avignon is that it is a walled city.
Mm.
So it's
Mhm.
surrounded by a wall that they used to keep invaders out, I guess, at that
Yeah.
time. But again, we're seeing the Palace of the Pope here, where it's thousands of years old, and it really does transport you. Avignon was one of the, um, I guess, the leader of was a religious I
Okay.
guess, capital of
Mhm.
Europe and France as well. So there's lots of different things. There's some beautiful churches. As I said, the Pope's Palace, Avignon. Our docking location here is steps away from the entrance into Avignon. So I love that as well. And that's the other nice thing about Viking is that we have priority docking stations. We were the first on the rivers in Europe, what, 26 years ago. So I
Mhm.
really love that no matter where we were right in the heart of that destination and could just
Yes.
simply go walk out and explore. We had a lot of different optional tours here. We had
Mhm.
some bike riding. I did a few things and I'm going to share those things with you.
Yeah.
But this is the area in Avignon once you get through the walled sort of area, and then you're coming
Mhm.
into this beautiful, charming city. I
Beautiful.
loved it. It was
Mhm.
really nice to walk around. So I'm going to share with you some of the excursions that I did.
Yes.
It was my dream really to go to Provence.
Mhm.
So I chose Provence for the day, and I went to a place where they did some well, they were an olive grove. They had been farming olive for over 7 centuries, and now the women of the family have taken over the farming of the olives. So that
Oh.
was really a special excursion.
Mhm.
I also did the foodie walking tour.
Okay.
So got to enjoy the local market, enjoy the food, and
Absolutely.
so on, and learning about the history of the food and
Yeah.
how the French their traditions in and around their culinary experiences. So that was great. Chocolate is a big thing. And I love that there's so many chocolatiers and they all are so proud about the chocolate that they make. So
Yes.
got to
Amazing.
try some chocolate. And then I also went to this beautiful little town called Saint Remy. And one of the excursions was a painting class. I didn't do the painting class because I did the foodie tour.
Mhm.
But the painting class they were actually had an actual Van Gogh
Oh, wow.
that they were doing their own the Van Gogh painting was the model and they were
Mhm.
painting the Van Gogh. So Van Gogh lived in this area of France. And so you can see the influence of Van Gogh throughout the little town. Just a little
Mhm.
picture of the dog. And it was really such a beautiful experience. But that is the end of my trip in
Yeah.
France. And just wanted to share a
Beautiful.
few of those things with you. So thanks for
Yeah.
allowing me to bring you to France.
Absolutely. I'll spend any time in France that you want. That's incredible. Very nice. Thank you so much for sharing all that. And I love that it was personal experience, as opposed to, an overview, like I said, with pictures, but you were able to share what you got to experience. And that's always the nice part of it. I love talking travel and I love hearing from my clients as well. So if you guys have any interest in this itinerary or any of the others that we've looked at with Viking, reach out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com. I'd love to get you guys on board. So thank you so much, Kim, for putting that together. I can't thank you enough, and I hope everybody has a great week. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's cruise chat with Kim from Viking Cruises. It was really nice to get that personal experience of the cruise that she just took, and she went down the rivers of France, and it looked absolutely beautiful. I did really love on my own ocean, not ocean, oh my goodness, on my own river cruise. I did really enjoy the food, the camaraderie, how close you felt with everybody else, because it's just a beautiful small ship experience. And it was really nice to just get away and enjoy a different culture, and the food is outstanding. And I'm sure that in France it was going to be the same way, and she certainly shared that. So that was great. Next week, I'm going to be meeting with Oceania Cruises, and Guillaume and I are going to be discussing possibly my group cruise that I have coming up to Norway. So make sure you tune in to that one, because I really want you guys to come on board with us. So guys, this is going to bid you farewell. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, and make sure you guys hit that share button. But most importantly, reach out to me, info@plentyofsunshinetravel.com, because I want to get you guys on board. Bye for now.